Did you know diarrhea is hereditary?
What?
Yeah. It runs in your genes.
That is so goddamn stupid.
Whosoever hears this audio, if they be worthy, shall possess the insight, human, and superhuman abilities of the world's mightiest metahumans. Accompanying this journey of high-quality nerd commentary, we got my man Colton, a.k.a. Pizza Parker. Talk to the people.
Yo, it's your boy Colt, aka Colt, aka make edits of me instead of Pedro Pascall, aka the last of niggas.
Sound like a slavery movie. aka yo, we also got the greatest engineer in the entire multiverse, my son Gas. Say what's up?
Yo.
Yes, sir. And you know who it is, baby? It's your boy Dennis, aka Old Dirty Dennis, aka the Last of Pods, aka Pedro Pascall, aka I'm gonna start calling niggas clickers the way they niggas bite me. You know what I mean? Yo, welcome to another issue of the Mighty Metahumans podcast. Fellas, how you feeling? What's up?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. I'm not ahead in the game right now in The Last of Us.
So
but,
me and Ghost, me and Gas going head
you
to head.
And Gas gonna go a little head to head, but I do have some things to say about like how the shit started.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's good.
It's good, bro.
That
it's
shit's
really
good.
All right,
and
so
it's a good dynamic.
Yes. All right. So one of the things I wanted to mention off rip, comparing this show to like other zombie shows that I've always felt was like the concept of the zombie apocalypse in general has never been about zombies. Like you don't watch a zombie show and be like, yo, that one zombie was wild. It's always the people. You know what I mean? And that's always been my thing about it. Like human interaction, like the idea of how does common decency work when that shit doesn't exist anymore? Like, who are you outside of rules? You know what I mean? Where like you can't be persecuted for anything. Like, who is that person?
I mean,
who's that version of you?
In most zombie apocalypse situations, like we have to more worry about people than we have to worry about
the zombies. It always feels like it's us versus zombies. You know
Those politics are always crazy.
Yeah. And I've always liked that.
I appreciated it. And then I feel like The Last of Us game was, it was a lot of you going around and going through file cabinets and figuring out how the shit you could pick up. Like, most of it is politics. Like, most of it is like we're trying to stop this fucking disease from happening from the mushrooms, from the spores, nigga.
Yeah, nigga.
Bad day for me, for a nigga that likes shrooms. I don't like them because of that shit. The spores look crazy when they cut people. Again, it's like, it's just fire.
Yeah. And you know what it is? I do like how there's every zombie show, there's always someone that kind of stands out as like that villain that you can see how the fact that rules no longer exist made them a more enhanced version of themselves. You think of like Negan on The Walking Dead. You think of the governor from Walking Dead.
True.
You think of even in this, or I know you haven't seen it yet, but there's a preacher, and it's the same concept of how these people become even worse versions of themselves in a world that rules no longer exist.
I mean,
and how terrifying these people become. Because Negan, that nigga, like, he could have been a teacher in the normal fucking world. And now this nigga's leading, like, yo, it's crazy how, you know, shit like that changes a person.
Yeah. I mean, shit, think about, like, even old school zombie movies. I forgot the name of the zombie movies, but I remember Omar Epps was in it.
Oh,
when Shorty had the zombie baby. Yeah. And, like, how she was protecting that fucking zombie child. They was trying to kill humans over a zombie that could just wipe out everybody. So like you can see that like there's always going to be mentally unstable people in every type of zombie media or thing that you watch.
That's my favorite part of the zombie shows. You know what I mean? So I know Gas, I know you've seen it. You've seen like the whole thing. Give it to me. Overall feelings about the show. After season 1 ended, you've seen the finale. How did you feel how they tackled the game and brought it to live action? How did it feel to you? Was it good, or were you like, eh?
I think overall sort of good, but like there was some stuff that was just like lackluster a little bit.
Okay.
I think the game did a lot of stuff better.
Okay. Give me some comparisons.
Just like
we can talk about it.
I feel like the beginning, like
give it to me. Nah, you don't
got. It always ends up correct, racial nigga. With me. I don't know why.
Look. This nigga gotta take it racially.
White. It's white.
Racially challenged. Go ahead, nigga.
There was the correct one.
Yo, let me hit you with a little clip bit. It's called The Last of Us, not The Last of Them. You know what I'm saying?
Look, so you know what they do.
Look, the black girl was cool, but at the end of the day, I was like, okay. I guess. Right? And then after that, what was the Jesus? The lady.
The Firefly lady?
Yeah, the Firefly lady. Come on, bro. All right. Okay. I mean, I guess we're gonna use the lady. What was her name in what was that show? True Blood.
Oh, I didn't watch.
That was a lady from True Blood.
But I did hear
Homie's
that,
wife was a lady from True Blood.
I did hear.
You're right.
I did hear that.
You know how the show go.
Where her accent go?
The last of racials.
Where did her accent go?
It's gone.
Her accent disappeared.
That's how actresses go.
I mean, I guess it was out of what? Out of 5 or out of like?
Yeah, out of 5. Out of 5.
Out of 5, I'd give it like a 3.2, 3.3, some shit like that.
Damn, this nigga don't even want to give it the 0.5. That's crazy.
I don't want to give it the 0.5 because I feel like they could have done better. Like,
okay.
For them to do this, it needed to be better than the game, or at least close to it. You feel me?
That's hard.
I feel like
it didn't.
I feel like they couldn't be better than the game.
Exactly.
Only because, in my opinion, when you think about video games and when you think about the interactiveness of video games, different than the feeling of being a spectator while you're watching a show or a movie, it's both those experiences are always kind of different. You get what 100%. I'm saying? And like, it's hard to replicate video game feeling. Your fingers in the way. It's hard. It's hard to replicate the video game interaction and feelings in a TV show, especially a TV show which is like when we played The Last of Us video game, nigga. We know how many hours you gotta put in to beat that game fully.
Yeah.
Whereas like they have 7 episodes.
Exactly.
Right?
Well,
they don't have
eight or 9.
Or 8, right? And they don't have the opportunity to fucking like put in the interactive love and care that the video game can, which is like, I'm only on episode 3. But like, it's one of those things where I feel like it's hard for them. What you said? No. It's one of those things where I feel like it's hard for them to get that pure interactivity like the video game on the show. And like, I don't want to fault them too hard, but I also understand what you're saying 100%. Because at the end of the day, like, y'all could have put in some scenes from the cutscenes of action and y'all didn't. And I know that from watching the reactions of people who've been watching it. But at the end of the day, they also are limited, time crunch, a certain budget.
You got to tell a story.
Yeah, and
you got 8 episodes to tell a story. I feel like you have to, you know what I'm saying? Like if you have a limited amount of time, yes, you know, one thing I will say, as someone that has not completed the game, let's just put that out there. The idea of them doing what they did, especially taking like certain cutscenes and doing it like faithfully as part of the game, like, and bringing it to the actual TV show. They were faithful in certain ways, but at the same time, you have to tell a story. You know what I mean?
True.
And to me, game wise, that's probably one of the best live adaptations because there's people who've never heard of the Last of Us game. They watched this shit and they fucking loved it. And they was just like, holy shit, this was a game this whole time? Like, this is what y'all be playing? Like, I thought y'all niggas play Mario Kart. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, storylines of this in depth? Like, are you serious?
Show.
It's to me, it's a really,
and like,
we can nitpick. We can 100% nitpick.
I mean, at the end of the day, the nitpicking part of it is what will make the next season better.
100%,
especially because
100%.
it's such a critically acclaimed show from a game, a critically acclaimed game. So this also is gonna open the doors for a lot of more like other future video game TV shows and shit. And like
100%. I definitely wanted to get to that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But yeah, like for right now, yeah, man, they kind of, from what I seen, from what people are seeing and other shit, they kind of did a great job. You know, they didn't knock everything out the park. I did get spoiled about the last episode, the last part.
We'll get to that.
And I said, y'all could have built this up a little bit more.
So one thing I definitely wanted to talk about is you bringing that up and us talking about you know, how they're handling the episodes, the filler episodes. I know Gas saw all of them because he saw the whole season. How did you feel about the filler episodes, like the Bill and Frank shit? You know, them. I mean, technically it isn't a filler because there was a DLC for it, but like Ellie's backstory. Like, how did you feel about that shit? Like them including that. Did you feel they did it well? Did you feel like, I didn't need this shit at all? What's up?
You said Ellie's backstory?
Yeah, like with her and the black girl. Like,
oh yeah. Wait, what was the other one you said before that?
Bill and Frank. Because you know in the game they just allude that Bill was gay, but we get like a whole story.
Showing the whole story. Okay.
Yeah.
I think honestly that was pretty good. Honestly,
yeah.
Was it?
He said, "Was it?" It's like he's arguing himself.
Because I was arguing myself while I was watching it. I was trying my hardest not to be like extra nitpicky just because it was like something I already seen. But then I was just like, this is sort of not making sense all the way. But I mean, it made sense though. I feel like it captured a lot. But then at the same time, I feel like we lost some of the journey with Joel and Ellie just like traveling through the space.
Yeah.
Just having to deal with all the traps and shit like that. Like, even though it's like, it's video game shit, it would have been cool to see. Although we did see some of it.
Yeah. So like, I guess for like me and the Bill and Frank shit, I appreciated it even though it was technically filler. Because overall, it's not going to matter. It happened. It was just these niggas' storyline. But at the same time, it's incredibly fucking rare in a zombie apocalypse scenario to have a happy ending. And these niggas somehow happen to have a happy ending. You know what I mean? Like, they found each other. They fell in love. They made that shit work up in the mountains. They got married and they died together. That shit does not normally happen in a zombie apocalypse show or movie. Niggas get bit and both people die. And that's it. Like, it's gruesome.
Emotionally, I guess, all right, it did a
it was
cool
like,
job.
You know, it showed, like, for me,
but
I would say that was my favorite
necessary,
part. It wasn't necessary. But for me, it was nice to actually, at one point, in all the zombie shows I've ever seen or movies, somebody had a fucking happy ending.
For how long, though?
Longer than you would expect most people to survive the zombie apocalypse. These niggas had to grow old together.
I honestly wouldn't say that I was too happy. Them niggas had to kill themselves. Because this nigga was about to die.
But they did it together.
They did it together. That's what made it amazing.
Hey, nigga, it's not Romeo and Juliet.
This nigga
supposed
had,
to be regarded
I don't know if
he
had zombie AIDS or something like this.
This
right?
Wilding.
I mean, I guess, but he had zombie AIDS or some shit like that.
Just call it the spore, nigga.
Look, the spore, okay.
Nigga,
this is not Patreon.
I mean,
but yeah, he was fucked up.
I mean,
he had to get
the highly, that, ladies and gentlemen.
It's fucked up version. It's the happiest version of that.
Exactly.
This nigga was deteriorating over time for real, right?
Okay. I feel like that.
I don't even. I don't even understand how that even happened. Like, to an extent, I was like, wait, did I miss an episode?
No,
I was really trying to watch. I was just like, what the fuck is going on?
That guy, he ended up, I forgot what the name of the disease is that he had. It wasn't the sport shit. It was like he was, it's kind of like what Bruce Willis has, where like your body starts to stop functioning after a while. So he happened to have that. So as he was passing out, he was like, I don't want to just die this way.
Did they say this?
Yes. Yes, because you saw him when he was painting. He couldn't paint properly anymore. Like his hand, he was like fucking up the strokes and shit. And he was just like, "Yo, I don't want to live long enough for that whole thing to happen."
They talked about the disease or whatever he had,
not in detail, but you saw it was like a palsy type shit, where it's just like, "Yo, I feel like that was the whole point of them showing like when he was younger how he could paint, and then as he got older, like he couldn't control his hand movements anymore. Like he was falling apart, and that's why he was like, "Yo, I'd rather you kill me now." Or I die now while I can still like, I'm still functional. Like, I don't want to like get to the point where I'm like senile and it's just like, I'm a problem for you. So he was just like, yo, and then he was just like, yo, if you're going to kill yourself, nigga.
This is why I got the point too.
He was like, yo, if you're going to kill yourself, my nigga, I finally found happiness. Like, you want me to go back to the zombie apocalypse? I'm dying too, nigga. Fuck this. Like, what's left for me?
That's fucked up, but I get it.
That's beautiful with me, son.
I mean, I guess
I wasn't gonna kill myself, but
I rock
I get
with
it.
But at the end of the day, I feel like it wasted a lot of time, and it didn't really like. It could have built more on Ellie and this nigga. Like I guess it was sort of a waste of time.
Yeah, I mean it is, but I guess the reason why they did it is because you don't get that full story in the game. So this was a chance to kind of expand on something that you probably because you're eventually going to get.
They wanted to take their liberties.
Yeah, like because you're going to get more on Joel and Ellie anyway.
I mean, it was skipping around a lot, so it was just like you gonna give us blooper reels.
Nah, I wasn't a blooper reel.
I fuck with it, bro.
They could have put this in. This is something that they would have. And if we were talking about all other movies and shit like that, when they used to put it out on DVDs and shit, this would be on the Blu-ray reel.
Well, this was you could have called this a
this
DLC.
Would have been an extra. This would have been the DLC.
Yeah. So you got the DLC in the show, basically.
A lot of shows.
I did like it though. I'm not going for it.
It was cool. I'm not saying it wasn't good. It's just like wasn't necessary. No, it wasn't necessary. It didn't really. If it added more to the story, I would have said I. But it was just literally, it was just a filler episode.
Okay. Going on. Since you played the full game, you can answer this question. Do you feel like they captured? Well, both of you. Do you feel like they captured the essence of the game and the characters, like overall? Not carbon copies. Like it don't have to be perfect.
No, they caught some of the vibe. Yes, it is like The Last of Us, but they took their liberties, and it's like it's kind of like
okay.
A
second
retelling
question
of the world.
Second question tied to that question: did you like it?
Yeah,
the version that they created.
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
I do like it.
That was like not Joel. That was not Joel, and that was not Ellie. Everybody else, but that was not Joel. Especially for Joel, I felt like it was a good casting, right? But like the character didn't feel Joel. Like he felt too like I don't know. Joel was sort of sappy, but it was in like a hardened way, sort of kind of. It wasn't so like extra emotional and shit like that. It just I don't know. It felt different than.
I feel like maybe if you say like the last couple episodes, he was definitely sappy, but leading up to that, he kind of treated her like luggage, bro. He called her luggage. He was like, "Yo, you're a delivery." Like that's not a sappy thing to say to somebody.
The game felt worse.
Yeah,
my nigga, they're still telling a story.
The game was worse.
Yes, they're telling a story, but it was just
the game actually was worse.
It was just like, damn, nigga, you could treat her better than this. So, and by the time they actually started treating her well, it seemed like, oh shit, all right, this nigga really did he really did go through some like traumatic shit that really fucked him up, for real. But in this shit, it just seems like, his daughter died.
Nah, he went through some dramatic.
He did go. It's the same shit because obviously it's the same story, so we know that. But I'm talking about how the feeling felt from the beginning of the game to that section. It felt like, his daughter died. Okay.
I also feel like that's not. What I will say to only push back on that is, while I will agree with you that he is softer in this TV show than he is in the game, I don't think that hard-ass Joel is as appealing to most audiences that are going to watch this, even the people that don't play the game. You get what I'm saying? He has to have a little bit more heart.
I say if people like, because I think of this show, right, as like a Game of Thrones, because it was really Game of Thrones-esque, just how they tried to position everything. Right, maybe not the show directly, but how they tried to film it, how they tried to like, even the intro was real Game of Thrones-esque. But a lot of shows are trying to pull that, right? So in a Game of Thrones, if you like that type of violence and stuff like that, it just felt more like, oh shit, these niggas are really savages. Now, if this nigga fucking what's this nigga Jon Snow didn't do what he did, and wasn't a real nigga on these streets,
I will say that's probably a time area piece as well. In those times, even though, in apocalyptic situation, people are fucking savages.
Bro, here's what I'm saying. His daughter died. That is not some shit that's just like, this nigga is just going to be all happy-go-lucky with her. From the beginning, I felt like he was extra nice to her. From the beginning. It didn't seem like he was really pushing back. Why, though? It seemed like the lady The lady had more of a disdain for her than he did.
Nigga, think about this. You lost your daughter. There's a new little girl now. Like, some people will deadass try to emotionally be like, damn, I might want to treat you like you're just a package, but I can't because I had a little girl, probably around your age, even though you're not her. Yeah. Emotional attachment will happen in that sense.
Yes,
and I felt like it made sense.
It did make sense.
So
but I feel like how long it took for that emotional attachment to get there was a little bit like, it felt too fast.
All right, so here's my in between both of y'all. So agreeing with that, they have to figure this shit out in 9 episodes. So you're not going to get a long stint of him being super cold. He was cold enough for me. He could, granted, he's colder in the game, but at the same time, it's not.
You didn't play the game yet.
No. But what I'm saying is, he's using what you said about him being cold in the game. It's harder to compare the game because for a show you have to narrate it, and if you're calling this The Last of Us and this is your star, quote unquote, because technically Ellie's supposed to be the star, this is your star, you want the people to have an emotional attachment to them.
For a show you have to narrate.
But going towards what Colton said about him losing his daughter, finding his girl, kind of being cold, not really taking to her right away, and then eventually like warming up to her.
Kind of being cold.
Yeah, kind of being cold. Because at the same time, it's still a show. And you want them to root for this nigga because it's like the co-star. So you want them to, if he's just a straight dick to her.
So do you know what happens in the second game yet?
No, because I have not touched that game.
Okay. All right. So I don't even think I can prove my point yet.
No, but
it's all right. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the point that I'm making is you can't take too long with the cold aspect because you want the audience to root for this team.
Here's what I'm saying.
You want them to root for Ellie.
Play the second game, and then we can have a real discussion.
Okay.
About that part.
But without spoiling anything, the way the show going, that makes the stakes higher for what happens in the next season if they're going on the second. It's not.
If the second one plays out how the game plays out,
stakes are higher.
It's gonna be a good one. But if the first one it just doesn't make me feel.
No. I agreed with that because that's what I said earlier. From the things that I got spoiled about the last episode, I'm like, y'all didn't really build it out how y'all could have built it out. Unless the next season don't go straight into the second game and they have like a time period of building both storylines, the different storylines that have to be built. You get what I'm saying? So that would be the saving grace. If the next season is not just the second game and it's just like we're adding an extra in-between time
I guess.
to build up to, like, I guess if they have a third season, then it'll be the second game.
Yeah, because you
got to let that girl grow up too.
They've already confirmed that the second season is going to be the second game, but at the same time, it's not just going to be a one season thing like they did with this one. It's going to be multiple seasons based on the second game, so it's going to stretch out a little bit. So it kind of falls into what Colton was saying about that. I feel like
if they had done that for the first game,
they should have did
2 seasons for the second, for 1 season for the second one, it would have been crazy. Because they would have really been able to airtight that fucking story out. Because that shit is not airtight. It's just like.
Well, we could just only hope, I guess, the first.
You gotta play that. You don't even gotta play the first one because you already seen the first one. Yeah. I guess it's or you can watch it. You gotta play that. That second one is important. You gotta watch.
I do feel like them going away from like the story purists. As an HBO exec, if you have a hit on your hands, there's no fucking way I'm letting you end this shit in season 2, bro. You're gonna find a way to stretch this to season 3 for me. Like, especially if it's a 9-episode season, there's no fucking way I would ever let this. I don't care how airtight or perfect that shit would be. No, nigga, you're gonna give me 2 more seasons. Fuck that shit. Like, but as a someone just watching, I could understand, especially since you said you played. I can understand how.
I would agree with that if they stretched out season 1.
Well, season 1, I would say the reason why you didn't know it was going to be a success or not.
You did know it was going to be a success because of the game and the following.
That's not always true, though.
They put this out multiple times, not just once. They put this game out multiple times, and it's done well multiple times.
No. Being successful as a game doesn't mean being successful as a show, especially video games.
But that's what people wanted from this game, though, because it was so show-like. Literally,
Exactly.
if you played the game from beginning to end, it felt like it didn't even feel like you was playing a game. Maybe at moments when you had to shiv doors and stuff like that. And my nigga, my shivs, shivs.
But no.
Where's my shivs?
What
the fuck?
What I'm talking about?
That's mad funny.
What I'm talking about is like when they make the show. This is not the first game adaptation type show or whatever the case is. The fact is, you don't know if it's going to be a success until it comes out and it's a success. So you're putting everything into this. You're not thinking long term for this. Because usually,
I will say
when you put out these type
of
okay, go ahead.
What Gas is saying, they could apply that to the second season a little bit more.
Well, that's
especially with like the utility of tools and shit, they can just real quick be like, I'm going in my bag, I'm getting a shiv, I'm getting this, I'm getting is this to use this to, I guess, put a little bit of more of the interactivity.
So here's
you don't have to write too much to even do that.
Here's my
they could even really do some first person.
Here's my pushback to those 2 points specifically when it comes to that. If you're trying to make this show be more of a drama, you have to stay away from shit like that. Because there's different game adaptions that have done that, and it was like now it feels like a game adaptation. It doesn't feel like you're trying to make your own thing. I'll give you 2 examples. Halo does the first person shit.
Halo not good though.
I think I think you're
all right.
I don't think you're like.
Let me stay on that. Halo's not good, but at the same time, if they started doing first person shit and reaching for shivs, then it takes away from the show that they're making.
Honestly,
with the game.
With the Halo show, honestly, when they did the first person shit, that was the best part of the show.
Yes,
when they tried to do the show shit, it was weak.
Exactly.
That's
the problem that I'm saying. You can't have a show. It's either you're making a show or you're making an adaptation.
That's 2 different things.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Are you making
a drama show? Hold on, let me finish. Are you making a drama show or are you making a show to entertain fans?
I feel like they're good enough. They're good enough to add a little bit more interactivity when it comes to the adaptation part. I don't think you have to write too much for people to be like, oh shit, look, that nigga about to, like what Jamal just said, even though it's a joke, like where's my shivs? Like, I don't think it's too much to show Joel like making shivs while he's talking to Ellie about some important shit. So niggas would be like, "Oh shit, those are the shivs from the game."
When you make,
you know what I'm saying? Like that's not something that you have to put too much effort into writing, in my opinion.
When you're making these type of games, right? Well, not even these type of games. These type of shows, I guess. You especially based on these type of games. When you said Halo, it just like Halo. The game wasn't meant to be a show, right? For Last of Us, this was literally meant to be a show.
That would be
how it felt.
That would be like, all right, better example. Let's say
if you said they're gonna adapt a God of War,
the one that's now is more
from the one that's now. It's like a show.
It's more like a show.
Yo, Mom said she watched the gameplay throughout the whole thing, and she was able to watch the whole thing, and she enjoyed it.
I know. Because it's the one now?
The one now.
Because it's like a movie.
Okay, what the point?
They perfectly.
Halo was not like a movie.
No, so all right, like I said, let's use a different example. That would be like if they make a Metal Gear Solid movie, super serious, drama-filled game, and then they have scenes where he's hiding under boxes and moving around in boxes. You can't take that; it takes away from it.
Nah, we would take it seriously if they made it serious. That's. I feel like. I get what you're saying.
That's impossible to make serious.
It's not. And I get what you're saying, but at the same time,
that takes away from
callbacks can really take away from how whimsical a real situation is. And we have seen this before. We've seen this multiple times where something is like, this is this character's staple. And even though this might be a serious situation, this staple is happening and we understand why it's happening. Yes, the general public might see it and be like, this kind of goofy. Why this nigga under a box hiding, right? But if they make it a scene and just humor me, right? It's a Metal Gear Solid movie. The nigga is in a lab. There's a bunch of boxes. He's in one of those boxes. You don't know he's in one of those boxes. A nigga walks past, he pops out the fucking box and murderizes the nigga. We not gonna go, ha ha ha, the nigga was in a fucking box, dude. Like, we gonna be like, oh shit, this is cool as fuck. And that's a callback to him being in the boxes. That's how I feel.
That works.
It's made for nostalgia.
That works. I'm talking about taking it directly from, see, what you did is you took something inspired from the video game. You didn't take it directly from the video game. Because if you're talking directly,
from the video game,
let me finish.
Under the box.
Let me finish though. If we're taking it directly from the video game, when you're in the box, you can do that shit by a step. There's no fucking boxes here. Just a box appears.
But why would we do that?
You're
the
proving
execs
my
want,
point.
From what I got from what you said, the execs want to make money. They want to make money, so they have to sell it to the people. Listen to my point. This is how I'm get you.
No,
they have to sell it to the people that will actually watch the show, right? So who are they going to sell it to first? They're going to not sell it to the general public, but to the people who going to exist off nostalgia, not the general public. The general public is secondary, in this sense at least, because this game had a big ass popularity.
I'm not disagreeing with anything you said so far.
Yeah, okay. I feel like
I was waiting for the pushback. Yeah. Well, go ahead.
Okay, so what were you saying that was the pushback?
I was talking about what he was saying about like the first person shit. Once you start doing that takes away from the drama.
But
that
you don't
you're
have to do the first person.
All you're talking about.
I never was talking.
That's what I was talking.
Oh
no.
Yeah.
If you're talking about only it being first person,
even being in the box thing, Metal Gear Solid is like a third person game. It's not like, and what you could be in the box in a hallway where there's no fucking boxes. But if you're making a live action adaptation, I don't think no one with a real logical mind that's like, this is a serious show, is like, you know what? Let's put this nigga in a hallway with no boxes and have him under the box, like crawling.
That was my only argument.
That's not what I meant. That's why I even painted the picture of like what they would do. Because again, they wouldn't use the real application. I'm not telling.
That's why I said inspired. That's all I said. I
feel you, but
if that's what we're talking about, I agree
with
you.
But even like what I said earlier, like no one wants to watch Joel for 30 minutes go through file cabinets and hiding from. You get what I'm saying? That's not what we mean.
But
we mean
play
like,
more towards
but if
the
there's
game,
like shivs and he has to find things, and then there's a moment where you could be like, your words, be inspired from the game. You could have him making shifts. You could have him finding the pills and shit in file cabinets.
That's also why I didn't like.
You know what I'm saying?
That's also why I didn't like the scene with the guy who was gay. I didn't like that shit. Just because it was like, all right, is this necessary at this moment? No, we don't necessarily need it. It was just filler. What they could have done was kept it towards the game, quote unquote. I understand you already said they don't necessarily have to do that, but if they kept towards the game, they would have showed more of the building of the relationship between Ellie and Joel in that scenario. Because that was a total. You'd have to play the game, bro. Like I don't even know how to explain it too well. Like
me being the person that hasn't played, do you feel like the build up so far of Joel's and Ellie's relationship wasn't very good, in your opinion, compared to the game?
Compared to the game, no, but they got there, I guess. That's why they got a 3.2. It's like you got there.
Okay, so how do you feel about the progression of their relationship in the 9 episodes?
I feel like it fits. It makes sense why they did what they did. I can't shit on it too much. You feel me? I have my drawbacks, but they got there.
Okay. Because, like I said, I'm trying to... I feel like that's another reason why I didn't want to play before we did this episode, is because I wanted to give the perspective of someone that has not played versus someone that has played.
Once you play the game,
I'm sure it'll change.
This show is not... You're going to be like...
It's going to change. I'm 100% sure it's going to change. But at the same time, they never...
From the first few scenes...
They never promised... I don't feel like they ever promised that you... Because...
I watched 3 episodes. That shit got a 4 out of 5.
Did you watch the first few? I
watched the first
from the
3
first few scenes. No, I'm talking about the first few scenes. I liked what they did with the doctor shit. That was cool.
It.
That shit was cool.
I still like the first,
I liked it.
The first few. The first episode drew me in.
When they was driving in the street and shit like that.
That was good.
Drew me in.
Are you talking about the game or the show?
Oh, the game, it's better because you're in the moment, Jamal. That's what
I know. I understand, but I'm just saying from the game.
He's talking about the comparison.
The game is a 5 out of 5. The show is a 4 out of 5. In my opinion.
From the driving scene, I'm talking about. You remember the driving scene?
5 out of 5 from the game. Perfect. Okay. In the show, when they showed that driving scene and what actually happens there. 4 out of 5. I still enjoyed it a lot.
Okay.
Like I still was like, oh, the emotional stakes are still there. It might not be the exact same, but that's fucking hard. I feel like, again, my thing about the difference between video games and adaptations is I always, as a person that's very imaginative and likes putting myself in the places of these things, I feel like my connection is always deeper with video games than they are with movies and media a lot of the time. So it's hard for me to see a movie and be like, oh, this is a perfect adaptation of like what I just watched. Like I feel like the only perfect adaptation that I've seen, because it's better than the game, is the Cyberpunk anime.
I don't even expect a perfect adaptation. I just expect emotionally for you to capture the essence of the show. And I don't feel like
it was
they did.
there to me.
I feel like it was sort of there. They got there, but it was just like, okay.
I feel like it's harder to compare it only because when you play the video game, you're emotionally involved.
I get it.
Off the rip.
I get it.
They have to take you there in the show. Like you're just watching now. Like you're not controlling anything. You're in the passenger seat versus the video game where you're in the driver's seat. So I would agree with Colton where I haven't played the game, but 4 out of 5. Like I enjoyed it. Like I felt like the progression of their story for the show, just within the realm of the TV show, they did what they were supposed to do. I understood.
Yeah, they got there.
They got there, and a video game, you have more time. Like they got to put this together and make sense in an episodic, situation once a week for 9 weeks. There's only so much you could do. Like now, if you told them niggas they had 26 episodes, I'm sure they could squeeze in more shit and probably throw in fan service and all this other shit.
Even 26 episodes would have been a little excessive, but it's just like...
Well, I mean, it's just a number.
Look,
but,
as I said before, maybe 10 episodes, but it don't even matter about the amount of episodes for me, right? You keep saying my thing is the same point over and over again. Emotionally, I felt like it was a little bit lackluster. I feel like some of the characters did not really live up to the characters that they were supposed to be. Simple as that. That's it.
A lot. We understand. That makes sense.
Hey man,
I give it a 4 out of 5 so far from what I've seen.
Yeah,
I'm feeling it. Like I feel like they couldn't properly replicate it, at least for me.
I don't think they could have fucked this up.
I don't think they could fuck it up either. I know you're not saying they fucked up. I know you're just saying like your gripes with it. Like you get what I'm saying?
To the game,
you felt like they could have done a lot. They could have done more justice to the game.
They could have done more justice to the characters.
To the characters. And I do agree with that. But I also, it's me. I have to look at it realistically. I'm not gonna feel the same emotional investment in something that I felt like, nigga, I was Joel. Nigga,
exactly.
I was
you
Ellie.
were playing.
You
were controlling everything.
I was these characters. Whereas I'm watching it as a spectator, and with the knowledge that I have, I'm like, where is Joel? Where is Ellie? And you get what I'm saying? And then when you have that expectation, I'm not saying you shouldn't because everyone should. When you have those expectations, the comparisons come to, you start judging. And I try not to judge too harshly, but at the same time, I try to be as realistic and as real as possible when it comes to my feelings when I watch that media. So I watched this shit, the 3 episodes that I watched, and I was like, this is pretty good TV. This is not a perfect one-to-one like comparison of this, and not even it having to be one-to-one, right? Like, what's the closest we think a one-to-one is? You get what I'm saying? So like in your head, you give it a 3.2, right? Yeah, so you have an idea of what the one-to-one version of that would be for you. So my version is like, they're missing some things. It could have been longer. They could have, like you said, I do agree that they could have expounded on Joel and Ellie's relationship a little bit more, but I've only seen 3 episodes, but from what I'm seeing, and then maybe some other relationships between other people, they could have expounded on that from all the different things that I've seen. But again, amazing, pretty good, 4 out of 5 from what I've seen so far. So and that's my last, I guess, my final.
So to compare how I think all 3 of us are judging the show, Gas is definitely judging it based on the game, 100%, and then taking your knowledge of the game and comparing that to the show. Colton is doing somewhat of the same thing, but he's a little bit more loose. My judgment of it is, and I did that on purpose, is strictly for the show itself, not based on the game. If I never heard, even if I didn't even know a game existed, is this a good show? Like from beginning to end, the story that they tell from episode 1 to episode 9, with no knowledge of the game, any other version of Joe or Ellie, is this a good show? Like, can I judge it just based on that? Which is what I'm trying to do. 4 out of 5. Like it's a good show. Now, that could probably change if I play the game and say, well, in the game version, they do this, they do that. But if I'm just judging the show and what the production value of the show is and the story that they tell for the show, 4 out of 5, bro. Like,
I gotta, you
gotta,
even
you know what I mean?
Play the game and
it might
appreciate the show more.
Or, it could have the opposite effect.
Where you're like, oh shit,
they did a pretty fucking good job.
Bring up this, and then the show maybe expounded, or like, oh shit, this is kind of the scene. So yeah.
All right. So to wrap up, because that was a really fun fucking discussion. Wow. Danger Room, nigga. I want to take us to the Danger Room real quick. Make your own Joel and Ellie. Who would be your pick? You could take superheroes, anime, real, whatever. Give me 2 people that you would pair together in a zombie apocalypse. I'd be like, I would watch that. Any 2 people you want.
Wolverine and Darla from Shazam.
Okay.
Wait, no. We gonna take Darla out of there because she's sweet. We gotta add a little asshole. Wolverine.
I hate that this nigga said Wolverine. Go ahead.
Wolverine and Louise from Bob's Burgers.
All right. So here's the funny shit, right? I asked you that question, and in my notes, because I actually had an answer saved, Old Man Logan and Power from Chainsaw Man.
I'm fucking crying. That's actually a pretty good mixture, too. That's a pretty good
I need somebody fucking nuts
you need
to be Ellie, and I feel like Power, you know what I mean? Like, she would fit right in. I'll give you a couple more. I had a couple more saved. Oscar Isaac and Mikasa from Attack on Titan.
Oh my god. Let me think. Magneto.
Okay.
And Squirrel Girl.
That's a nice pair. That's a nice pair. My son Levi Ackerman, Attack on Titan. And Shorty from Kill la Kill, Ryuko, nigga.
I'm about to fuck the game up.
Okay.
Show Tucker and his daughter. Dude, it's
Dark.
over, ladies and gentlemen. It's over.
Dark.
Let's turn it up. Let's get this shit way worse.
I was gonna say my nigga Kang, not Jonathan Majors, Kang from Ant-Man.
Okay.
And Shorty from Stranger Things. The black girl, Erica Sinclair.
Oh, no, Eric?
Yeah, nigga.
I'm crying. Yeah, that would be a good mixture. That's a good mix.
Oh, shit. My nigga Sonata, who played Scorpion in like every other samurai role.
Okay.
And Nezuko, nigga.
Oh, my God.
Because she could be sweet, but she could turn the fuck up when she got to turn the fuck up. Know what I mean?
That's also true. Okay.
Give me one more. We can wrap.
And my last one would be somebody that I gotta be hard at. John Wick as Joel.
Okay.
And Mandy from Billy and Mandy as Elle.
Damn, now that actually worked.
Yeah, man, perfect, right?
It'd have been better.
A little foul mouth shorty and like John Wick, the little murderer. He just like, my dog died. I guess you're my new dog.
Hey, one last point. Right?
Give
John Wick. John Wick would have been perfect.
Yeah, he would have been perfect.
Think about how dark John Wick is,
Keanu
but
Reeves
not really.
Joel.
Like it's
Keanu
dark.
Reeves gonna, cause he's mad monotone.
I just felt like this other guy is way too nice. Like
Joel is monotone, and even when Joel shows you love in the game, you don't really feel it. Nah, I'm gonna be real. He'll say shit like, "I'm proud of you, kid," but it seems like I should have hit the shot before. That's why you proud of me. Like you're not proud of me because I hit the shot. You proud of me because I got us in this situation.
Yeah.
But then when the moments hit, you feel
you like, oh shit,
real.
The nigga like, let me teach you how to play the guitar.
Watch, bro. Once you play the game, bro, I'm telling you. There's gonna be a big difference that you're gonna notice, and you'll be like, all right.
Yeah, I guess we good.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Was that it?
You got any worthies before we leave?
Yeah, You know, Jamal don't like that episode, but I really do.
I
like
love the Billy
third
episode.
episode.
I thought it was good.
Like, I thought it was really good. Like I thought it was tragic, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I also feel like, as a poet at heart, love is tragedy. You get what I'm saying?
Heart, know what I mean?
Like, love is tragedy, man. And like sometimes that shit gotta fucking happen, dude. And I knew he wasn't like. At first, I was like, "Does he have the zombie shit?" But then I was like,
"I thought it was the zombie shit."
Nah, it wasn't
he got.
the zombie.
I was like, he got some
version of the zombie shit.
I was like, "Oh, this is true love," because he got another situation going on. This nigga protect him. He want to stay with him as best. And then again, I told people multiple times. I know it's not a Patreon episode, but hey, if shit like that hit me, I gotta get out of here. Real shit. I gotta go. So I was like, I'm feeling this.
Oh shit. All right. Worthy. My worthy is my nigga Pedro Pascall. This nigga's killing Mandalorian / fucking.
Yeah, he be doing everything.
Yo, this nigga.
The movie with him and Nick Cage.
Yeah,
go hard.
This nigga's going crazy.
He's going crazy.
I mean,
he's getting casted.
Bella Ramsey, I do like her. And I mean, coming off of Game of Thrones, I fuck with her now being Ellie. I do like her. I mean, she got a little spun to her. And you know what kills me? Every time you hear a lot of these niggas talk in their native, like actual voice,
accents and shit, you like,
nigga,
what the fuck?
Another one of you? Like,
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It's kind of easy to do an American accent.
Everybody does it, son.
So, yeah.
Yo, like, you know what? I feel like on Dennis Plus, we got to start doing like British.
Yeah, we're gonna do a British accent.
We gotta bring
I gotta
order.
bring in the Night Deviant's cousin, his British cousin.
The T Deviant nigga.
Yo, the T Deviant. Right.
But yo, like,
he gonna be the Day Deviant.
Yo, exactly. We gotta bring order back, nigga. They taking all the roles, nigga.
That's a fact.
This shit is crazy, son. Other than that, honestly, HBO for taking a chance.
It really peeves me. I'm not really fucking with it like that. I don't really like how you're coming to our ends and taking our roles.
Metahumans, mate. Hey.
Hey, metahumans, ain't it?
Real roadman ting, boy.
All right, good.
No. So, honestly, HBO for taking a chance, and you know we talked about it in
Sony,
video game.
Nigga.
Talking about video games before about like live adaptations, and this opening the eyes to a lot of people about the fact that video games are more than just like the simple shit that you might see or knew for the 90s. Like there's actual storylines and you know like actual depth to it and shit.
That's a fact.
And you know this is a great adaptation of that. Something we talked about before with like anime. We're still waiting for the anime to like do something like this.
It's gonna
like
break out
anime
soon.
You know what I mean?
Like we already getting like
harder.
Super Mario.
It's harder.
Shadow. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we
like,
have like things in the works. Like they talking about God of War.
Yes.
They just said that now the creator of Ghost of Tsushima said he's getting a lot more interest in people making that. So it's like
it's
they know
doors.
we can make these things. Like because these things exist already. And like, but my issue is, and what you know, obviously Gas's issue, like, is are y'all gonna take care of it?
Right.
That's it. But like it seems like they're taking care of it now, so we like it.
Right. Like, you know, as long as you get the essence of it, you kind of got to give a little leeway for the show. Because if you would just want it to be the exact copy, nigga, then you should just play the game. Like, I feel like that's kind of like there. Because, I mean, if I was making it, that would be my take. Like, nigga, if I'm going to just make the exact game, like, this is cosplay now. Like, are we making a show or are we just making the exact carbon copy? So you got to give me a little room for leeway.
It's like when a certain person makes the same show over again. It's cosplay, isn't it? Yeah.
Hey, nigga, I'm just saying, like, if it's going to be a carbon copy, like, why not just play the game? Like, you got to give me some leeway. Yeah, that's it for my worthies. This has been another issue of the Mighty Metahumans, providing you with that high-quality nerd commentary. Subscribe, leave a review, tell a friend. Know what I mean? Subscribe. We on Patreon. Know what I mean? Like, we got shit popping over there. Shout out to the Gene Lanterns and all that.
Facts.
You can find us on all social media sites as The Mighty Metas. Mm-hmm. You can find me on all social media sites as Old Dirty Dennis.
Yep.
That's OLDIRTYDENNIS. Mm-hmm. You can find my cards, you know what I mean, on Etsy, Art by Den, DENN, you know what I mean? If you're in a zombie apocalypse, get your boo a card, you know what I mean? You might need to hold you down and steal some supplies, make a shiv, never know what you need, hide under a box. You don't know. You might need somebody to hold you down, get her a card. You can find my man Colton
Yo, the Colton Show __ on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere else, Instagram, Twitch, the Colton Show.
Yes,
basically. TikTok. TheColtonShow.com. That's also my website. Go check my stuff out.
Facts. And let's throw one more in there. You can find my man Gas on Instagram, too gassed up. You know what I mean? This nigga don't be shouting his shit out at all.
Gotta
son.
shout your shit up, man.
You know what I mean? Tell the people where they find you, son.
Yeah, 2_ gassed up. You know.
You know what I mean? Colton, send us home. Who said it?
I don't know.
Anonymous. Yo, we out.